The Truth About Rapper Big L. Lamont Coleman, May 30, 1974, February 15, 1999, best known by his stage name Big L, was an American hip-hop recording artist. Coleman embarked on his career in rapping, with the hip-hop trio, 3 The Hard Way. His first notable appearance came on Lord Finesse's Yes You May remix. Coleman released his debut album, Les Festivals Overdopor and Dangerous, in 1995 and significantly contributed to the underground hip-hop scene. In 1998, he founded Flamboyant Entertainment, his own indie label, through which he released one of his most popular singles, Ebonics, 1998. On February 15, 1999, Coleman was killed by an unknown assailant in a drive-by shooting in his native Harlem. His second studio album, The Big Picture, was put together by Coleman's manager, Rich King, and released posthumously the following year. It was eventually certified gold by the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA. 3 posthumous albums have been released, mainly consisting of unreleased songs which were put together by Rich King and his brother, Donald. Multiple tributes have been given to Coleman, including in The Source, MTV, and Hip Hop DX. A documentary is in the works titled Street Struck, The Big L Story, 2017. About.com called him the 23rd best MC of all time, and multiple writers at AllMusic have given him high praise. Early life: Lamont Coleman was born in Harlem neighborhood of the New York City borough of Manhattan on May 30, 1974. He was the third and youngest child of Gilda Terry, d. 2008 and Charles Davis. His father left the family while Coleman was a child. He has 2 siblings, Donald and Leroy Finazzi, d. 2002, who were the children of Gilda Terry and Mr. Finazzi. Coleman received the nicknames Little L and Mont as a child. At the age of 12, Coleman became a big hip-hop fan and started freestyling against his own neighborhood. He founded a group called 3 The Hard Way in 1990, but was quickly broken up due to a lack of enthusiasm. It consisted of Coleman, a Doc Ream, and a Rodney. No studio albums were released, and after Rodney left, the group was called 2 Hard Motherfuckers. Around this time, people started to call him Big L. In the summer of 1990, Coleman met Lord Finesse at an autograph session in a record shop on 125th Street. After he did a freestyle, Finesse and Coleman exchanged numbers. Coleman attended Julia Richman High School. While in high school, Coleman freestyle battled in his hometown. In his last interview, he stated, "In the beginning, all I ever saw me doing was battling everybody on the street corners, rhyming in the hallways, beating on the wall, rhyming to my friends. Every now and then, a house party, grab the mic, a block party, grab the mic." He graduated in 1992. Musical career: 1990 to 1993, career beginnings and record deal. Coleman began writing rhymes in 1990. In 1991, he recorded various demos, some of which were featured on his debut album Les Festivals Overdopor and Dangerous. He also founded the Harlem rap group Children of the Corn, COC, with Killa Cam, Cameron, Murda Maze, Ma Dollar E, and Bloodshed. On February 11, Coleman appeared on Yo! MTV Raps with Lord Finesse to help promote Finesse's studio album Return of the Funky Man. Coleman's first professional appearance came on Yes You May remix, the B-side of Party Over Here, 1992, by Lord Finesse, and his first album appearance was on Represent off of Showbiz and AG's Runaway Slave, 1992. In that same year, he won an amateur freestyle battle, which consisted of about 2,000 contestants and held by Nubian Productions. In 1993, Coleman signed to Columbia Records. Around this time, L joined Lord Finesse's Bronx-based hip-hop collective Digging in the Crates Crew, DITC, which consisted of Lord Finesse, Diamond D, OC, Fat Joe, Buckwild, Showbiz, and AG. Sometime in 1993, Coleman released his first promotional single, Devil's Son, and claimed it was the first horrorcore single released. He said he wrote the song because I've always been a fan of horror flicks. Plus the things I see in Harlem are very scary. So I just put it all together in a rhyme. On February 18, 1993, Coleman performed live at the Uptown Lord Finesse Birthday Bash at the 2000 Club, which included other performances from Fat Joe, Nas, and Diamond D. 1994 to 1995, Le Festivals of Pour and Dangerous. In 1994, he released his second promotional single Clinic. On July 11, 1994, Coleman released the radio edit Put It On, and 3 months later the video was released. In 1995, the video for the single No ENDZ, No Skins debuted, which was directed by Brian Luvar. His debut studio album, Le Festivals of Pour and Dangerous, was released in March 1995. The album debuted at number 149 on the Billboard 200 and number 22 on top R&B hip-hop albums. Le Festivals would go on to sell over 200,000 copies as of 2000. 3 singles were released from the album. The first two, Put It On and MVP, reached the top 25 of Billboard's Hot Rap Tracks, and the third No ENDZ, No Skins did not chart. Even though the album received a 3-star rating from AllMusic, it was an AMG album pick. 1996, released from Columbia. In 1996, Coleman was dropped from Columbia mainly because of the dispute between Coleman's rapping style and the production from Columbia. He stated, "I was there with a bunch of strangers that didn't really know my music." 1997, sophomore album. In 1997, he started working on a second studio album, The Big Picture. COC folded when Bloodshed died in a car accident on March 2, 1997. DITC appeared in a July issue on The Go magazine. Coleman appeared on OC's single Dangerous for OC's second album Jewels. In November, he was the opening act for OC's European Jewels tour. 1998, Flamboyant Entertainment. Sometime in 1998, Coleman formed his own independent label, Flamboyant Entertainment. According to The Village Voice, it was planned to distribute the kind of hip-hop that sold without top 40 samples or R&B hooks. He released the single Ebonics in 1998. The song was based on Ebonics, and The Source called it one of the top 5 independent singles of the year. DITC released their first single, Dignified Soldiers, that year. Coleman caught the eye of Damon Dash, the CEO of Roc-A-Fella Records, after the release of Ebonics. Dash wanted to sign Lamont to Roc-A-Fella, but Coleman wanted his crew to sign on February 8, 1999. Coleman, Herb McGruff, C-Town, and Jay-Z started the process to sign with Roc-A-Fella Records as a group called the Wolf Pack. Death. On February 15, 1999, Big L was killed at 45 West 139th Street in his native Harlem after being shot 9 times in the face and chest in a drive-by shooting. Gerard Woodley, one of Big L's childhood friends, was arrested 3 months later for the crime. "It's a good possibility it was retaliation for something Big L's brother did, or Woodley believed he had done," said a spokesperson for the New York City Police Department. Woodley was later controversially released, and the murder case remains unsolved. Big L is buried at George Washington Memorial Park in Paramus, New Jersey. On June 24, 2016 at 139th Street and Lenox Avenue, Woodley, 46, was shot in the head and later died at Harlem Hospital. Posthumous career. The tracks Get Yours, Way of Life, and Shyheim's Manchild BW Furious Anger were released as singles in 1999 for DITC's self-titled album, 2000. On Tommy Boy Records the album peaked at number 31 on R&B hip-hop albums and number 141 on the Billboard 200. Coleman's first posthumous single was Flamboyant BW on the Mic, which was released on May 30, 2000. The single peaked at number 39 on the Billboard Hot R&B Hip-Hop Songs and topped the Hot Rap Tracks, making it Coleman's first and only #1 single. Coleman's second and final studio album, The Big Picture, was released in August 1, 2000 and featured Fat Joe, Tupac Shakur, Guru of Gangstar, Kool G Rap, and Big Daddy Kane among others. The Big Picture was put together by his manager and partner in Flamboyant Entertainment, Rich King. It contains songs that he had recorded and a cappella recordings that were never used, completed by producers and guest MCs that Coleman respected or had worked with previously. The Big Picture debuted at number 13 on the Billboard 200, number 2 on top R&B hip-hop albums, and sold 72,549 copies. The album was certified gold a month later for shipments of 500,000 copies by the RIAA. The Big Picture was the only music by Big L to appear on a music chart outside of the United States, peaking at number 122 on the UK Albums Chart. A compilation album containing COC songs entitled Children of the Corn, the collector's edition, was released in 2003. The next posthumous album released was 139 and Lennox, which was released on August 31, 2010. It contained previously unreleased and rare tracks. 49. It was released by Rich King on Flamboyant Entertainment. The next album to follow was Return of the Devil's Son, 2010, which peaked at number 73 on R&B hip-hop albums. Coleman's next release was The Danger Zone, 2011, and an album called El Corleone was released on February 14, 2012. Legacy and influence. Henry Addasso, a music journalist for About.com, called him the 23rd best MC of 1987 to 2007, claiming he was one of the most auspicious storytellers in hip-hop history. Hip Hop DX called Coleman the most underrated lyricist ever. Many tributes have been given to Coleman. The first was by Lord Finesse and the other members of DITC on March 6, 1999 at the Tramps. The Source has done multiple tributes to him, first in July 2000 followed by March 2002. XXL did a tribute to Lamont in March 2003. On February 16, 2005, Etzob's Restaurant and Nightclub in Manhattan held a commemoration for him. It included special guests such as DITC, Herb McGruff, and Kid Capri. All the money earned went to his estate. In 2004, Eminem made a tribute to him in his music video for a single, Like Toy Soldiers. Jay-Z had stated in an interview with MTV, "We were about to sign him right before he passed away. We were about to sign him to Rockefeller. It was a done deal. I think he was very talented. I think he had the ability to write big choruses." Rapper Nas also said on MTV, "He scared me to death. When I heard that on tape, I was scared to death. I said, yo, it's no way I can compete if this is what I gotta compete with." Style. In Ebonics, one of Coleman's best-known tracks, he raps about the slang used in Harlem while he was growing up. Problems playing this file? See Media Help. Coleman is often credited in helping to create the horrorcore genre of hip-hop with his 1992 song Devil's Son. However, not all his songs fall into this genre. For example, in the song Street Struck, Coleman discusses the difficulties of growing up in the ghetto and describes the consequences of living a life of crime. Reese Goodwin of the Boston Globe wrote that Big L had an impressive command of the English language, with the song Ebonics being the best example of this. He was notable for using a rap style called compounding. Coleman also used metaphors in his rhymes. MF DeBella of AllMusic stated Coleman was a master of the lyrical stick-up, undressing his competition with kinetic metaphors and a brash comedic repertoire. On the review of The Big Picture, she adds the Harlem MC is a master of the punchline and a vicious storyteller with a razor blade under the tongue flow. Trent Fitzgerald of AllMusic said a lyrically ferocious MC with raps deadlier than a snakebite and mannerisms cooler than the uptown pimp he claimed to be on records. Documentary. A movie titled Street Struck, The Big L Story is set to be released in 2017. It is directed by a childhood friend and independent film director, JEWLZ. Approximately 9 hours of footage was brought in, and the film is planned to be 90 to 120 minutes long. The first trailer was released on August 29, 2009. Street Struck contains interviews from his mother Gilda Terry, his brother Donald, childhood friends E. Cash, DOC, McGruff, and Stan Spit. Artists Myson and Dougie Fresh. Producers Showbiz and Premiere. And recording DJs Cypher Sounds and Peter Rosenberg. A soundtrack will be made for the documentary, and it will be put together by Lamont's brother Donald. Discography. Main article, Big L Discography, Studio Album, Le Festivals of Doppler and Dangerous, 1995, Posthumous Studio Albums, The Big Picture, 2000, 139 and Lennox, 2010. Return of the Devil's Son, 2010, The Danger Zone, 2011, compilation albums, Showbiz Presents, Big L and Silky Black, 1992, Live from Amsterdam, 1998, Harlem's Finest, A Freestyle History, 2003, Children of the Corn, The Collector's Edition, with Children of the Corn, 2003, The Archives 1996-2000, 2006, El Corleone. 2012, Posthumous Collaboration Album, DITC, with DITC, 2000. Consisting of unreleased songs which were put together by Rich King and his brother, Donald. Multiple tributes have been given to Coleman, including in The Source, MTV, and Hip Hop DX. A documentary is in the works titled Street Struck, The Big L Story, 2017. On hip hop scene. In 1998, he founded Flamboyant Entertainment, his own indie label, through which he released one of his most popular singles, Ebonics, 1998. On February 15, 1999, Coleman was killed by an unknown assailant in a drive-by shooting in his native. The Truth About Rapper Big L. Lamont Coleman, May 30, 1974, February 15, 1999, best known by his stage name Big L, was an American hip-hop recording artist. Coleman of Harlem. His second studio album, The Big Picture, was put together by Coleman's manager, Rich King, and released posthumously the following year. It was eventually certified gold by the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA. 3 posthumous albums have been released, mainly embarked on his career in rapping, with the hip-hop trio, 3 The Hard Way. His first notable appearance came on Lord Finesse's Yes You May remix. Coleman released his debut album, Les Festivals of Pour and Dangerous, in 1995 and significantly contributed to the underground